You know, my club first, we didn't even have we just had the goal like this, and every time you shoot the ball, you have to go and catch it because you didn't have the net. So we went to the fisherman, and we bought their like old net, and we put it on the goal. Yeah, every time he comes to my, he's there, he said, Matre, please, prosím.
Today in podcast on the Grill, which is part of Algotech TV, the sport channel, is Rihards Matrevics, the goalkeeper of Dukla. Welcome, and I'm sorry, I will call you Matre if you don't mind, because everybody here calls you Matre, and it would be much more easier for me to do it. Did I pronounce your name well?
It was okay.
Yeah?
Better than when I was in England.
So, you started with England. Tell us at the beginning something about your football story. How did you get, to the goal? How it happened?
No, and I think was two things. I was always inspired by Latvian hockey goalkeepers, like Artur Irbe. He was very good, and I always wanted to have this like responsibility and to be the goalkeeper. But I wasn't really able to play hockey, and in my family, my cousins, my grandfather, my cousin's father, they all played football. So we just played always football in the garden together, and it started like this. And yeah, then I started going to school. In Latvia you start at 7, and then this time I found a club near my school, and I was just going after training. And thanks to my dad also, because he was, my club first, we didn't even have we just had the goal like this, and every time you shoot the ball, you have to go and catch it because you didn't have the net. So then we checked we tried to buy a football net, and we see the prices. So we went to the fisherman, and we bought their like old nets, and we put it on the goal. And then like this, my team, we had somewhere to train. And after we won the Latvian championship with my club. It's a very small club in.
Really?
Yeah, we won.
Which age?
Until under 12, under 13, 14. Yeah, like we won it until under 15, 3 times. So I think under 15 or under 14 was the last one we won, and then I went to England around 15 years old. Yeah.
And you were in academy of West Ham United, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
How was it?
No, it was very good
Small
experience.
kid, 15 years.
The experience was incredible, but also the difference. When I arrived there as a kid. Even the mentality of the players already at 15, 14, I was just very, very, very young, and like football was just like having fun to me. But like to these kids, it was already like some of them already signed like their first contracts, and even like 13, 14 years old. And
you had the contract, or you were
No, when I was there, I was there for 1 year. So the first year when I was there, they couldn't sign me because I was too young, and I was like on trial for like 4 months. And I think one day they got an email from the federation to say like, "What are you doing? This guy is on trial 6 months already." So then I had to go back to Latvia, and I came back end of the season like for another trial for 1 month, and then at the end of the season I signed my contract, and then I came back for the preseason, like already like a signed scholarship. So this was like 16. Yeah, when I was turned 16, I could finally sign. And then, so it was all very positive. So but even I played some matches like under like another name.
Really?
Completely.
But it was in Latvia, not in England.
No, it was in England.
In England, you had the different registrations,
No, but it was just the under 16, the friendly matches. But of course, like, after it was very well done by the club, and everything was. It was like impressive for a young kid like me. As I said, my club when I started there, they didn't even really have the net on the goal, and then I came 3-4 years later. I came to England, and maybe like at age 16, I already started training with the first team sometimes, and the difference, it was just like crazy. I didn't really know what was going on. Like I didn't really process it too much. I was just there, like happy, you know. And yeah, it was incredible actually for me at that young age.
What was your first league experience in Latvia, or?
No, it was in England. What,
In
like
England.
first league, like first team, right? You mean?
Yeah, the
going-
first team.
Yeah. I started to play. I think my first game was when I went from West Ham. I left West Ham, and my agent thought in this time I had an agent from England, and he thought I should go and fight for a place in like already in the men's football. And he thought I can do it because I was like quite tall, and I was, you know, pretty
You
good
are
with
still
like saving
quite
the. Yeah, I didn't get any smaller. But for that age, you know, I was like taller, and I was like pretty good, like saving the shots and catching the cross and everything like this. And he thought I can already play the first team football. And I went to the 5th league, so it's like a professional club. And there, I think, was just like I just started the preseason with them, and I played a few games in the preseason. But after, I didn't really get the chance to play there at all. I was there like 2 years, and the club was Barnet FC, and I didn't really even play there. And in the second year, I finally had a chance at least to go and play on loan. I played in the 7th league in England. This was like semi-professional, but it was at least some football time, and I was really hungry to get it, you know, at least this. So that was my my first run of games. Was I started like in non-league football, you know.
And the first league in any country, you know, in Latvia?
Yeah, in Latvia, when I came back to Latvia, yeah.
So you came back from the academy,
Yeah.
or these teams, as you mentioned, you know, and then you were first time in the first league.
Yeah, I really wanted to stay in England, but it was because of the COVID times. It was just so hard. There was a lot of people who didn't have a club at the time. It was like really nobody knew about the finance, about these things. It was very like nobody was sure like what is even going on, and it was a very difficult time. And some clubs, they wanted to like take me for the trial, but then somebody got like COVID and they closed down for 2 weeks. And I said I cannot do this. The president of this Latvian club, Valmiera, was calling me. And he said to me, like, we have 1 more week until the registration is finished. You know, if you want to come, you need to come now. And I just said, like, I don't see what will cap change here in England, because actually the club I was at in the 5th league, after these 2 years where I didn't play any games, there was a pretty big compensation, because I said I don't want to stay there, and I turned down a contract. And there was a pretty big compensation that some club who would sign me, they would need to pay. And I just didn't believe, like, in this moment that anybody will pay me and pay for me at this moment, this money. And the Latvian club, they spoke with the English club, and, you know, because it's from another country, it was easier to fix it with the federations. And it was like a very complicated moment, actually. And the Latvian club helped me a lot, Valmiera FC. So, and then, yeah, that's where I started to play, and I played the first season. Because I arrived later, I didn't even start like as first goalkeeper, but after 2 games I became the number 1, and after this I just played all the games for like two years. And in the second year we won the league together with all of a very, very, very great group of players, you know, really very great group of players. And it was crazy because the salaries and the budget of the club was not so big. You had like very good gym, very good coaches, very good. You had everything you need for the training, but the budget was not, you know, so big. But somehow the group of players that was there was amazing. And really, if you look where some of them, you know, what kind of transfers they made or where they're playing now, like it's really, like it was a really strong club. And
are they still? Or it was just, you know, random season or random seasons?
Now they had some money problems, and now they are in I think they just won the 3rd league. So now they will play in the 2nd league. But yeah, this is unfortunately the story for many Latvian clubs, you know. They just in one moment they have started to have some problems with the money, and they just finished their existence. But at least the club is still alive, and at least they can still say like this is actually the same club who won the championship.
Question before I was pointing to the feelings. The first time you're in the first league with the same responsibility. Your responsibility is not to let the ball in.
Yes.
And you were used to this responsibility in the previous experience, but you are in the first league. You know the pressure needs to be different.
You mean like the Czech league difference to Latvia?
No, Czech. We will come to the Czech, but in Latvian league, you know, the first match in the first league with the responsibility not to let the ball in. You know, not to let the ball in.
Yeah, no.
How did you feel? You know, because I remember when I was 15, being a goalkeeper, I couldn't cope with that. You know, I was not good for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the pressure on it.
No,
therefore, I really admire, you know, the goalkeepers, because I can feel the pressure with them. You know.
No, I think all the goalkeepers that I meet before the match, and even when I play the national team games, and you all just have like mutual respect because of this reason, because how hard it is to be a goalkeeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like really, it's, you know, you work so long. Sometimes you don't even play for 1-2 years, and you work so hard for so long to get your chance, and then when it comes, maybe something completely stupid can happen out of your control, and again you're out for
last.
2 years.
Yeah, and you are last. Because that's the unfairness in football. I would say that if the goalkeeper makes the mistake, then everybody sees it and everybody, you know, blames him because it's usually causes the goal.
Yeah.
If the offender misses the goal on the other side,
Nobody cares about it.
We will have another try.
It's a very interesting subject, yeah, because actually, like, there's so many goalkeepers that have spoken about it. Like, I love to listen to David Raya speak about like these kind of things, and many goalkeepers I listen to from England, their interviews, and everyone speaks about it. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, you know, everyone makes mistakes, and I think every goalkeeper makes mistakes every game. Just some of them. Sometimes the mistake will, nothing will happen, and sometimes the other team will score a goal. And, you know, I think you have to be able to accept it. But sometimes, you know, I especially me, like I'm too much like a perfectionist. I want everything to be perfect. And when I was younger, I used to have like big problems with, even if I missed one pass, I would start to like really think about it. And then, but with experience, you just learn like, you're going to miss a pass and you're going to make some small mistakes. The problem is when your mind starts to forget about the game and you start to think about your mistake, or, you know, something else, or about some interview, or what you're going to do after the game, or, you know, something like this.
So you have some psychological hygiene, you know, I would call it, you know, to somehow, you know, push the thoughts out of the head,
yeah,
you know.
Of course,
yeah?
of course.
Yeah.
I think everyone, all the like goalkeepers who aspire to be, you know, at the top level, have their own way of dealing with this. Like, yeah, like mine, I'm not really like a massive person, like everything. I'm not like a big like routine person. Mm-hmm. But I have like my 5 or 6 things that I do in the previous day before the match and on the match day.
That's my question. Yeah.
And
what are your habits, you know, before the match?
So, no, before the match, I think the previous day I try to have like a stress-free day. I try to, I always go for a walk in the evening. I'm just trying to go like through like a list, because I have it written down on the list, so I'm trying to go down. Then I always have like red meat, like steak. I always cook steak in the evening, like 6 o'clock. I have it, and then I have like after this is like my preparation almost starts, and I just take my time walking, maybe outside like a little bit, then just I have like some time for myself, and then about an hour, 2 hours before I go to bed at like, so let's say about 9 or 8:30, I will start to, I just turn off my phone, my iPad, everything. I put it down and I read a book, or I can play piano. So sometimes I play some piano. I go outside again, like for a walk, or just like do other things that like, because I believe also it's important to, you know, a lot of people talk about like this, I don't know, like the too much information from your phone, from everything in your life, and like too many stimuli that you have. And I think it doesn't help also for us as goalkeepers, because all our game is like you are standing there for 80 minutes and you do nothing, and you must keep your focus. So I think it's connected. So I that's like a big part for me. And then yeah, that it's important to get good sleep. And in the morning I do the same. I don't touch my phone again for 1 hour at least. And then yeah, then you have like your things that you do, your pre-match meals, your everything. Then probably important for me is also like visualization, because I noticed maybe that sometimes when you are in the game and you made a good save, or for example sometimes when you concede the goal, you really get like high emotions, you know. You're like, okay, like now I must fix this, or I will, now I'm confident, or, and then you start to think why I cannot be like this from the start, you know. So I think it's also like the job of every player to work on your like readiness for the game, to prepare yourself in a way that you are immediately like in the best possible mindset. And sometimes it's not so easy to do it, because it's like very emotional, you know, and sometimes you don't have the emotions to do it. But you must try your best every time. And yeah, like, but that's just for me, you know. I believe every goalkeeper is different, every player is different. But I like always to watch my videos from the last matches, and I try to remember the feeling that I had when I was making the best saves, and when I was feeling good, and you know, and I try to like connect it with music, and yeah, so that's like a big part of the feeling that you must get. And then
what kind of music you are listening to?
Everything.
Yeah?
I was putting music today in the gym, and I think the guys were laughing, because I put some Spanish music, I put English music, I put like
so the playlist
African
is
music,
very, very
French
colorful.
music. It's everything that just has a good like vibe to it. Yeah, yeah. Just sometimes it's just like a random song, but it's just the memory together with this song that is like works for me. So
I was looking at you in Zlín, which is like 2.5 months ago or something like this. It was 13th of September.
Yeah, I remember that game.
I was there like 1 hour before the game, and you are stretching, you know, and concentrating alone, you know,
on the pitch.
down on the pitch, you know. I was above.
I remember one person watching me.
That was me. That was me. And I thought to myself, you know, this is a very difficult job, you know, to do, because you are there, you know, more than an hour before, doing very precise exercise, you know, stretching your body, listening to the music, and fully concentrating, you know, probably on the game. I don't know what they are thinking about. Can you somehow uncover, you know, this process for the viewers? Because, you know, I was lucky I was there so before, but
no,
usually people are not going to the stadiums, you know.
No, as I said, maybe I'm not like such a routine person, but like before the match I like to follow, like, I think that's how you make it easier for yourself, that you make every time the same things. So in the end, like, your body sort of understands that he needs to do the same thing that he did before. I think that's probably how you make consistency. But yeah, so before the game, I just always try to arrive in the same time. But it's easier when it's a home game, because then you can, it's easier, you know, you can arrive at the time you want. You don't come with the team bus. For away game, for example, at Zlín, I always arrive. I don't really even have the time to go and check the pitch. I just get changed immediately. And then, yeah, I just get my music going, I get my stuff on, and then I always have my stretch band with me, and I just have like a plan. For example, I have 5 minutes to make the rolling on the foam roller, then I have 5 minutes to make some mobility, I have 5 minutes to make my isometric activation, and then 5 more minutes to make some dynamic things with this stretch band. And yeah, and then when I do this, my body is ready to go and do the warm up with the balls. I think, yeah. So I think I just follow this like step by step, and to say what I think about. I think the best way to prepare for anything is if you just focus on what you are doing right now. So even before the match, you know, if I'm starting to have like some worries or any thoughts about anything, I just try to just focus on what I'm doing and just forget about anything. And you don't really need to fight with yourself. You just need to pay attention to what you're doing in this moment. And yeah, like it's important. Like I think everyone has like their own tricks, but like for me, it's important like breathing and yeah, maybe there's different ways to bring your focus. That you can learn, you know, you can work with people who can teach you, you can read the book, you can read it in the book, but in the end, yeah, you must have your, like a box of tools that you can use, you know.
So you are like carpenter, you know, preparing, you know, for your job, you know.
Yeah, you must lay the foundation, then you must...
Yeah,
no, it's true. And every time you must do the same way, I believe now. Because when I was younger, I used to just come to the game and I used to think like, I'm so good, I don't need to do anything, I'm just gonna be good today. But sometimes it didn't work, and I think why, you know? And then you start to realize that maybe you must follow your way, or because, yeah, I think one person that I spoke to, you know, and he said to me like, you know, when you are successful, it's like you are paying rent. And if you are in the biggest apartment in Prague, if you are in the best apartment, but you stop paying rent, the next day you are on the street. So you must every time pay your rent, and you must be good every day. You cannot decide that you are good and now to do what you want, you know. It doesn't work that way.
We didn't mention, you mentioned it briefly, but we should probably underline that you are also the goalkeeper of national team of Latvia. How is it to be in the national team? And the last 2 matches, if I looked well, you were number 1.
Yeah, I was number 1 last year. Unfortunately, I lost number 1 due to some trouble that I had with my club in Latvia. And it was a very difficult time actually last year. I was even playing, there was a time even when I was playing for the second team. So I was training at, so you understand, I was training at 7 o'clock in the evening for 1 month with like 16, 17-year-old guys. And I was even like having to play for this team. And then and after this 1 month, I went to national team and the coach put me to play. In the national team, and it was
you played like for the B team,
yeah, and then I went to play for the national
then for
team.
the national team.
I've never seen anything like this in my life, honestly. It was completely crazy.
Nobody probably.
And then and then after all of this, I think it was just, and then I still didn't have a good solution with the club. And then by the time the next national team came around in March, it was like I lost my place. But then I feel like I hope now I have it back. But as I said, it's always, you know, you never know in football, you always must improve and fight. But yeah, it's national team, you know, when you are in Latvia, and actually when you are playing in Latvia, you are like in this bubble, you feel like you don't have so many players who are playing outside of Latvia, and you feel like it's, you know, you are in Latvia national, in the league, maybe you are one of the top 2-3 goalkeepers there. And you feel like I always felt like it's so easy to go to the national team. It was my experience. But then when you come here to Czech, and you know, the people's perception is completely different about the national team, and it's like, wow, you play for the national team, you know? Yeah, of course, you know. But then you start to realize
you shouldn't underestimate.
Yeah, it's
you know,
such a
playing for
it's
national
a very
team
big privilege.
In every country is privilege.
It's a very big privilege. Now, you know, you really understand it, because, and now also the new coach who came, he's really brought like a new, the Italian coach you have, Paolo Nicolato. He's brought like a new mentality, and I feel like guys are coming now to the national team with like mentality, like we can really do something together, and the level is just only going up. And I think now we are really coming there with like really that feeling like it's a privilege to be there. And I think a lot of the guys, we just enjoy to be there, and we are like actually happy to be there because the atmosphere is really good. And as I said, now here especially in other countries, like when I said that I play for my national team, people are like sort of like even more impressed with this than that I'm playing in the Czech First League, like it's. But maybe back in my country, it's like a bit like the other way, because it always happens first. That first you go to the national team, and after you can get maybe some transfer somewhere.
So it's vice versa.
Yeah, like but normally it works like you have to go and do it for your club, and then you can go to the national team. But I think it's just like it's different when you're playing for like a smaller country. But I think. That's why all of us, we just want to raise our level and to go and play in different leagues than just the Latvian league, and to raise the level of Latvian football.
How it happened that you appeared here in Czech League?
I think I just was working like really hard for many years to try to leave Latvia again, because I came back from England and my dream was always to play abroad. And I just came to Latvia because of the COVID times, and I had 2 very good years with Valmiera. And then, like my dream was to leave Latvia. And but it just takes time to find the right people to help you to do it. So I think I was there like a little bit longer than I needed to be, but in the end now, I'm just really happy that I'm here. And I think we just kept, like me and my agent, we just kept working, and somehow, people here in Dukla, they saw me, and I think we did everything so it was possible that I can leave Latvia. And then in this moment, when it was possible, the opportunity came, and like I was just really like happy that Dukla club gave me this opportunity to come here. Like like every day I speak with my wife about it. We say, look, 1 year ago we were playing. We were in this situation. Now we are here. It's like we have to be happy. We have to appreciate it, because really, it's been like a very good year in this way, because the growth is. I feel very good here. And I'm really happy to be here. Yeah.
And how do you feel in the cloakroom? How is the? Because the Honza Peterka told me that you are so big that you are pushing him out of his place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
every time.
Can you comment on this?
Yeah, every time he comes to my, he's there. He said, "Matre, please, prosím."
Prosím.
Yeah. Another words I cannot say here, but
you can say. First of all, I think our
But now
viewers...
I speak Czech almost.
Yeah.
No, trošku.
Trošku,
Rozumím trošku česky. But the guys are good, really. They accept me very nicely, and I was surprised because I almost have a better connection with the Czech people than with most Latvian people. Because when I was in my club in Latvia, I didn't really the Latvian culture is like a bit different. So when I grew up in England, I came to Latvia, and I feel more comfortable here even. So also my wife is the same. Like she said to me, like she feels here more home than in Riga.
Really?
Because we are here in Prague, and we both have something that we are doing. So every day we have something that we are happy to do. You have some goal in life, and you are doing something. So it's like. And also, like I said, the people, the guys in the club, we have some international players also from all different countries, and it's a good group, it's good guys.
Yeah, if I see the videos on the Instagram or some short videos, with the team, it's always fun, that I can feel that the team spirit is there,
Yeah, it's true. No, for sure. Yeah. I agree.
What is your like a final goal in the football? You know, what do you want to achieve?
I want to play in a top 5 league. That's my goal. But actually, like probably my dream is to play in the Premier League in England, because that's where I came from when I was young. And probably when you are young and you are in academy, actually, and I know this because I spoke to many people there, and in their mind it's like, yeah, I'm gonna play, for sure I'm gonna play in the Premier League, you know. Or it's a worst case scenario is like Championship or League One, you know. This is how the people think. But then in the end, when your contract is finished, and you realize that there is so many players that it's so hard. And some of my teammates, we had a very good team in West Ham, but some of them actually just finished to play football now. But some of them are playing like in top 5 leagues also. So it's like you know. So I think I want to one day return to England. So that's my dream in football.
Well, that's actually very good, you know, because you need to have a dreams. Because if you have a dreams, then somebody says, you know, if I have a dream to go to the moon, if I fail, at least I will be in the stars. So
they had it in the West Ham changing room, this on the wall.
Yeah.
Shoot for the moon, and if you fail, you're going to land on the stars. Yeah.
Yeah. So at least this, you know. So coming back, maybe to football. You are like 26 years old or something like this. I'm watching football like more than 40 years, 45, something like this, even more. When I started to watch football and I was playing as a kid, you know, being a goalkeeper, we were playing only by hands and kicks from the hand, you know.
Yeah, you kick it up.
Yeah, but we didn't play by foot at all.
Yeah,
you know, we didn't pass.
You were even allowed to pick up the ball. If your teammate passed you the ball, you can take it up, right?
I started to play, and we could do with the ball for unlimited time, whatever. Yeah. Then they changed it, you know, to the 4 steps and 4 dribbles.
Like basketball.
Yeah, like a basketball. It was 4 steps, and then it was somehow penalized. And now, and this is what I am aiming to, you play by feet almost
more
all the time.
Yeah, more than
much more. You use the hands, you know, when you save something, but then the rest is played by feet. So how to improve these skills, you know, because in my times we were just catching the balls, and that was it, you know. Playing with the feet was completely out of our exercises, out of our training process.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit lucky because I had some coaches who were like who were telling me like someday you just need to train with the players, you know, like when I was younger. So at least for me, I had some coaches like who were telling me to really work with my feet. I wish now, looking back, that I even worked more, because when you are young, I think it's much easier to learn it. So yeah, but for me, it just I know a lot of people who are like good with the ball, but when there is the pressure in the game, you must just be calm, because you know, actually, it's not hard
for the someone who has the problems with the heart. You know. Sometimes, you know, when you are doing, you know, the how it's said in English, klička, trying to avoid the other player, you know, the
dribble.
Dribble. When you do the dribble with the other player, you know, in the small box, my heart is stopping, you know.
Yeah.
That's how can you cope with that, you know?
No, I don't really do the dribble.
You do, man. You do sometimes, but maybe you don't even you know, think about it. But you do. And
No,
sometimes you do it in the small box, and I am really afraid.
Yeah, no, it's just for me. If you are always just looking, because like I cannot lie, like to say like that I've always been perfect like with the ball, you know. I try to every day to improve it and to get better. But for me, you know, you have 11 players on the pitch, so we are 11, and if one of the other team, they are 10, but the goalkeeper is probably not pressing, I hope, so he's in the goal. So when one guy is pressing me, there's always one player free, and probably they have 4 players in the back and we have 3 in front, so probably there's 2 players free. So in most games the other team doesn't really press us too much, and we are able to play quite simple passes, and yeah. So I think if you are just calm in your mind, you can always find a pass in the last moment. And if there is no pass, the worst that you can do is just kick the ball out. And you don't need to stress about it, because if you are calm in this moment, I think you can make mistakes when you panic, you know. Yeah. So that's why when I watch the best goalkeepers, they are always calm. And sometimes you can watch Szczesny, for example. He can kick the ball out for a corner, because it's better to do that than to try some pass that you are not sure about, and then you can receive a goal.
And it's happening, you know. These mistakes.
No, it happens all the time.
More and more. You know,
so much. Yeah. No, that's why now some of the best teams, they don't build up so much, because it's just dangerous. Because teams every time now, they are just going man on man on the top level, and sometimes in our games it happens too, and it's just very hard to. Yeah, it's not, risk reward is not rational to play. It's true.
It's even mathematics, yeah, there, because you are considering this risk to gain ratio, you know,
exactly.
And it's probably better to kick it for the corner than to try something stupid. Or it can be nice then, you know. I saw someone, you know, it was in the two weeks ago in the Czech league. He did the drill in the small box, you know, and he was alone there, the goalkeeper. He was attacked by the striker, by the offender, and he did and pass. How? Where his mind? He needed to be so calm, you know.
Exactly. You just need to be calm, and because as a goalkeeper, for me, you never really are doing something like very difficult. You just must do the simple action that you practice 1,000 times every day, and to repeat, it's not hard to do it. Like, the technique is not hard, but to do it in the game, that's probably hard. Yeah.
How do you practice the length of the kick? You know, because you are able to kick the ball over the whole pitch, you know, 100 meters. So do you practice it, or it's talent, you know? Or?
I don't really know how you can. I think when you are young, just when you are young, I had a friend, you can you can see on his Instagram, his name is Joseph Anang, and he plays in Ireland now, also a goalkeeper from West Ham. And we just used to, he can do the ball like from his hands, he can put the ball like this and kick it, and he can put it where you want, really. And the ball travels like this, in a straight line. It's incredible when you watch the video. And we just used to practice this all day, you know. After training, we used to stay there and just kick the ball to each other. Like
from the opposite sides of the pitch, yeah.
All kinds of kicking, and just to, yeah, I think, and then you just try to catch the perfect technique, and you know, you just practice it. They just practice. It's nothing like it's not magic, you know. Some people, they are magic, but you know, you cannot say like Messi is not magic, you know. But I think 99% of people, it's just repetitions, you know. And probably some of it's like your leg power is a big part, like some mobility, maybe you need to open your hips to hit the ball, but also it's technique. So without technique, you cannot. Yeah. So sometimes in the games, I can see like a very good pass, and I want to rush a little bit, and the ball can go like down a little bit because I forgot about the technique, because I tried to too much power. Yeah. So then that's when I always realize that it's important. The technique is important. So if you just practice it, and then you just do it in the game, it's not hard. It's not complicated, but it's hard.
Yeah.
That's why nobody can do it.
Yeah, but I really admire, because to kick the ball from the grass, from the pitch, like 80 meters in the air, sometimes precisely, sometimes it's a really good pass, sometimes not, because you are just kicking the ball, for so long distance that the players then have to fight for it.
Yeah.
So it's you are putting the ball to the fight, actually.
Sometimes, yeah, especially goal kicks, and you just need to put it, especially end of the game, you need to just put it in the corner, like, so there's no counter attack, and it's.
Have you ever scored? Like, this last chances, last corner, the goalkeeper.
No, I had a good chance once. I had a good chance in Latvia. I had a shot with my head against the RFS. Yeah, actually this year, and I missed. Yeah, I was so sad. And actually, 2 years before this, also I had against Riga for Valmiera. I received the ball even on the edge of the box. And I had the time to like control it and shoot, but I tried to like make assist, and I hit it too hard. It went to the goalkeeper. Yeah, so I've had chances, man. Next time I score, maybe.
Do you actually like if there is a lot of spectators around, or sometimes the atmosphere here in Juliska, if there is 3,000 people, it's not so big like in Sparta, where it's 20,000, or Slavia 20,000.
No, I think I always enjoy the games when it's a lot of people in the stadium, because it's easier like to prepare for the match, like in that way, because you are just ready always, like your body naturally is getting ready for the match. So, but yeah, I think where I come from in Latvia, like, you don't really get 3,000 in matches, so even
even 3,000 is enough.
Yeah, even 3,000 is enough. And sometimes it depends also how many people are singing, and we always have at least one group who are singing, so there's always like something going on, and sometimes they support me, they support the team, and it's nice, it's really nice. Also when you come out for the warm-up and the people are already there and they're applauding you, you always feel that you are playing for something, more than just your own goals, and just the team, and it's nice.
What does the team means for you? Because you're, as I said before, you're a drummer in the band. Drummer is alone. So what does the team?
Yeah, it's like two parts, because as goalkeeper, you are like goalkeeper club always, and you spend so much time together. It's better to try to have a good relationship, because we all understand like it's hard, how hard the goalkeeper position is, and also in our club we have good goalkeepers, so it's like there's like one team, like the goalkeeper team, and the big team. So always you are trying to do your best for the big team, for your club, and you're trying to win the game.
For fans,
Yeah.
We play for fans, That's...
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and also you play like for each other, because you make very close relationship with your teammates, and you want to win together. So this is a big part of it also for me. Like I'm always on the pitch with my friends,
Mm-hmm.
and with my brothers, we are fighting. It's like war. So so you always want to win, and you always put all your emotions, all your heart, and sometimes it's work, sometimes not, but
for me, it's still a game, using the word war, it's a little bit
Maybe
much.
at this time,
Yeah,
it's
at this
too
time,
much.
it's
At this time,
too
especially,
much.
it's too much.
It's
yeah.
still the game, you know, and we do it for the fun. I would say that we should, first of all, we should have fun. And by having fun, we should put the fun on our fans. And by having fun, we should be winning. You know what the win means for you.
No,
If you win, what it?
When you win, nothing else matters. You just win, and
Yeah.
you just say, you close the box, you put it, and then you you move. And then sometimes when you lose, people, you know, you always look for the reason why you lost. You know, so it's always like the winning is just, it makes it easier. You know, when you win a game, and you see yourself, especially now when you see yourself going up in the table. It's always when you win, you move up. We move up 5 places when we win, you know, because it's so
now it's so tight.
it's so tight, and so it takes like the pressure off your heart, you know. You can sleep better in the night. It's true. Like,
so you have better mood at the evening, you know, talking to your wife if you win.
yeah,
if you have good saves. And
yeah, I think so. But also, I like to think that I try to, as a goalkeeper. You asked me like the previous question, like, you know, you're part of the team, but also you are responsible for your own performance. So you must always, like, also look how you played. Even if you won, you must always analyze your game. So if you won, you must be like little bit. You don't forget about everything that you did.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I think I try not to be like too much high after a win and too much down after a loss. Because at the end, you have to keep playing, you know, you cannot stop. And especially in the higher level, like I watched, I met after the game in Latvia, it was against England, I met, you know, Declan Rice, and we spoke a little bit, and then about 2 days later, I was watching him playing against, I don't know, like Liverpool or something. And then after like a week, he came here to play against Slavia.
Mm-hmm.
And then a few days later, he's playing again against Fulham, and it's just, they have so many games. I don't know how they can do it, like, because here we play once a week, and it's still like physically, it's not so easy. But
they call it English week. Three matches a week. They play FA Cup, they play the
FA Trophy.
European leagues, and they play
Premier League.
The Premier.
And they even have FA Trophy.
And they have.
But this is mainly for the under 20. They try to put as many reserves as they can because it's too many games. But yeah.
Yeah, but they have also like 35 players in the wider team.
Yeah. No, especially I think if you look at the teams who play in Europe, they have so many players. Even the teams in Latvia, they have so many players because it's just hard to. In Latvia, if you want to qualify for Europe, you must play from. I think July starts the first round. You must play. So, you must win. I think 4 rounds. So you each round is two games.
Mm-hmm.
So you must play 8 weeks in a row. So this English week, you know. So Saturday, Tuesday, or Saturday, Wednesday. And yeah, you cannot do it with 11 players. It's impossible. So.
Yeah, you can't. You know. So. Is there anything you want to add? You know, some message to our fans or to your colleagues from the cloakroom, or something what we didn't mention, and I didn't ask.
I don't know. I think I said everything. Like for me,
because I can feel that you are real professional with the heart. Yeah. From our interview, as we speak here, you know that you are the really hard-minded professional, which can be like in contrary a little bit, but this is what I feel from you. Really professional way, prepared guy with the heart, you know, in front.
No, because I had one coach in Valmiera, and he's one of my favorite coaches, which I had, goalkeeper coach, and he always said to me, you must have a hot heart and a cold mind together. And when you first think about it, it's like a contradiction, you know. But actually,
that's what I said.
Yeah, you
what
can.
I just said. I felt from the interview that one.
No,
And that could be the message from our interview, you know. Hot heart and cold mind. It was Rihards Matrevics, the goalkeeper of Dukla. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.